Now, that I'd put up an earlier run this time of the car hunt riot for this Jaguar F Type. It's a pretty weird car, but yeah, I'm gonna throw this up and some bits and pieces to do with the Grand Prix event it's on as well. So I'll actually throw timestamps down below if you want to click forward past the car hunt riot to some Grand Prix advice and see how people are doing it now that the fans have started off. But this Jaguar F Type, weird car. For beginners, I wouldn't advise spending too much like time effort in this one because it is not a kind of really beginner friendly car, and this car hunt is odd. It like you really need to just kind of drive this one without drifting it too much. It's strange that it's like, yeah, it kind of doesn't belong with the rest of the cars. It can drift ever so slightly, but generally I find that this one goes best just kind of really light turning around corners. And yeah, just like keeping it. I'm even going to avoid some of the ramps in this just because its flatland speed is really good, but it's very unstable when it comes down off of some of those ramps. So like, yeah, I would just, as oddly boring as this one sounds, like I feel that this car kind of goes better when it's just yeah, handled relatively calmly. To jump down here still though on the left hand side, just to give you the jump down. Yeah, that's just, it is just the faster way of handling this. And like, it's weird, but it's kind of like one of those cars that I find sort of enjoyable to drive. But for a beginner driver, this car I wouldn't invest too much time into. Fence. Just gonna drift here though to line it up with the like final run. Just really need to try and keep some boost here. Try and pick up some nitro, just because you need it for coming up this ramp here at the end. So just make sure you're filling up and get the last nitro container here. Yeah, because you cannot just use regular acceleration coming up this ramp here. Want to get any bit of a decent speed and make sure and skim nitro across the grass margin as you're coming down here. Ooh, 156. Yeah, but what I was saying with that car is the fact that like, all right, this is an early 45th position, but still happy enough with that. It should be well in the 5%. But yeah, what I was saying is just a case of with that car, it's like it doesn't really handle drifting too well. It also doesn't pop up in too many events. So I would maybe be wary about spending like a lot of kind of upgrade money on that. Congrats to Aken Kuro Black, Randall, and other names that I'm not going to be able to pronounce. I'm doing a better time, but yeah, the times at the top are already compacting pretty down fast onto the 156. But like my version of that car, I'm missing any of the epic import parts for it, so that's why it's missing 100 rating off the top. But yeah, it's like it's not a bad car in the slightest. It's just not a car that's like used in a whole pile of events, and generally it's quite tough to drive. So I would say like on that track, if you're kind of new to the game and you have the car maxed up in blueprints but not in tuning, I would maybe consider doing a run of it and seeing how it handles, because it doesn't get particularly better at drifting and it doesn't get like amazing top speed or anything. It is just a 4-star kind of B-class car, so it's not something you're going to be using too much in multiplayer and stuff like that. So yeah, I would be kind of hesitant to spend a whole pile in it. Definitely put in your time though and see how you get on, but at the same time, just if you're weighing up credits between that and some of the other cars, if you can get your hands on the B classes, it's not exactly the best one. Definitely not in multiplayer. When you get a smack from from other players, you lose quite a lot of speed quite quickly in it. But 45th for me. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this one open because I'm gonna throw stuff to do with the Grand Prix at the end of this video. So good luck in the car hunt riot. See how you get on with this one. I actually got this one early for a change. Now, I did just want to chuck on a little addition onto the end of this. It's just a case of If you haven't realized by now already that there's an extra 4-hour pack that's rolling inside the special event stage. So yeah, just when you click in here to the special event, you can see in the middle portion of this is your extra pack. It takes down exactly the same 4 hours as the other one in the shop, and that has the potential to actually have some parts in there for the Techrules car itself. Now I don't really want to give like advice in terms of what to do with this event, because like this is not player versus times. This is very much a case of player versus other players, and say it completely depends on this one as to who you actually place up against here. So say like yeah, I'm in a group where I have like two others from top 100 clubs inside in my place, so the Infectious and Street Legends, and there's quite a few other people inside here that have like yeah, moderately cool enough times. There's only 2 people in my group to date who have boosted the car up beyond the standard thing. So someone in Gaming Fanatics and yeah, the Street Legends. But like say, in my group, what's probably going to happen is the person in Infectious here is going to also invest somewhat into the car and then try and aim for that 3rd spot, which I currently am in. If that was to happen, you see, then that's kind of like where you have the problem with this event, is that you've got players fighting players and basically trying to one up each other, because like say yeah, it's possible to do like a 1:12:6 time like I have here in just the 1-star version of the car, but obviously like it's going to be near impossible for me to remain competitive against like people with a 3.5k rated version of that car. And yeah, that's kind of the problem or designed problem of this event, is that people who wanted to place in relatively bad times or so deliberately just to put themselves into groups like at different places, yeah, they have obviously like it's going to kind of be a bit weird when it comes to each one of these groups. Now, that said, if you are inside in a group, by the way, you know you can actually see the qualification time of people. So say like my qualification time with that was 1:17:46. The person who is in Infectious group say placed a 1:20.6, which is a strange one, because that would mean that they actually missed out on some of the rewards, I believe, from the previous event that was on. Now, like, I'm not saying that was a deliberate attempt to place a low time there. It may well have been. It might just be a case of that's what the racer did. But yeah, you can check out in the eye that's after players here. You can see kind of what their placement was like in the qualifications and kind of get an idea as to how they got grouped. As to how the game is grouping players, I haven't a clue. I don't understand how you can put somebody that's a 1:17 into the same group as a 1:20. There's a 1:18, 1:17, 1:18. See, like, in a group where you would think more people would have that time, you also then have a 1:24. So I'm not sure. Does it take a handful of players and just chuck them together, or how exactly has that worked out? But yeah, I did not want to kind of give advice on this one just based on the fact of, like, say, I could say spend tokens, but you know, if you really don't have the kind of skill on track, it's going to not do you any good to spend tokens, because you won't unlock this car. Like, the prizes are very, very clear at the moment, at least anyway, that only the people who are in the top 3 are going to be getting a key for the actual car at the end of this event. Otherwise, you could spend a load of tokens and come away unable to actually drive the car, even if you've geared it up to 4, 5, or 6 stars. Like, if you happen to be bad on the track, you could just not get this. Like, one thing that is cool though is, say, like, the 3rd and 4th position, at least, like, they both have the same amount of those premium Grand Prix packs, and those packs have some pretty cool cars in there for, say, upcoming events. The Vanda Electrics, the different version of the Chevrolet Corvette, and the 812 Superfast. Like, 2 of those at least are related to the Rimac C2 event. So you're going to get some blueprints that will hopefully help you out with that one going forward. You obviously get a lot more of them if you're in that 1st position. But yeah, it does have some pretty cool unlocks other than just the actual key for the Techrules car itself. my aim through this is probably to do what I can to see if I can unlock this one, as they say, and like I might upgrade that car a bit, because if I was to unlock it, I wouldn't want to unlock it at 1 star anyway, because at 1 star it's not particularly any good. So like I may aim to try to bring it up to the 2 star rating or so, but I'll see with that later on after I get those prices from the qualification stuff. I might chuck up a video just of gearing up that car just a small bit. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here, just in terms of we're on round 1 of the finals at the moment, if you've qualified. This is from the Grand Tours Discord, that you can join by a link in my channel banner up at the top of this my channel. But yeah, there's like a track listing for the future tracks that you're going to come to, courtesy of Aero Goober. But yeah, you've got like today's one, which is the Pantheon Split in Rome. Tomorrow, go back to Osaka for Rat Race. Then the Tunnel Jam stage of San Francisco. Reach for the Sky in Shanghai, that short course with just one big jump in the middle of it, and the cool barrel roll ramp when you land. And then back to Osaka for the mode finale. Now, I'm pretty sure that's the 2-minute long version of this track that we've had previously in 1 or 2 of the events already. But just keep in mind the fact that like that's a very, very long version of that track, and yeah, if you've been coming from the global version of this game, you will have an advantage over like a couple of these stages, so Rat Race and the mode finale for definite, because of the fact that like yeah, that game has had the Osaka track on there for the past year, whereas Nintendo Switch only players will have only seen that for the last month or so. So definitely just keep in mind the fact that those are the tracks that are coming up. If any of those are like, woohoo, my best track, great. If they're not, yeah, maybe just consider, do you want to spend tokens when you're going to be like at the mode finale track with a car that's like maybe not exactly perfect for that track or so. But yeah, guys, I just said I'd pop up this edition onto the end of that car hunt Riot. Because they are about as time sensitive as each other. There's a sub button over my head here, and there's other videos from me there and there. I hope these help out, and yeah, guys, good luck in the Grand Prix, and good luck mining your tokens. Definitely, I would advise keeping on to 5k tokens, depending on what your balance is right now, because yeah, we do have the Rimac event, which will probably come up almost straight away after this one. Especially given the fact they're being like given bits and pieces for it, and yeah, the what you need for that pretty much you have to have banked about 5k tokens so that you can buy some of the syndicate coins in that, because it's another syndicate type of event. Okay, guys, good luck, and yeah, drive safe.